What's going on, everybody? It's What I Be Thinking here again, and on today's episode, I want to talk about researching things and doing your due diligence before you do things, especially big things. So, I'm going to give you an example about what I mean about researching and doing your due diligence. I always like to give an example from my life, what I be going through and, how I got to this point of making this video to help other people out on this topic. So, I have a friend, he tells me a lot of things. He's, you got one of those friends that's a fast talker and they think they know everything. They try to tell you things and you're just thinking in your head like, that don't sound right. Like, oh, this person don't know what they're talking about. I had to get to that point because I used to work, when I was younger, I used to work jobs and you'll have that older person on the job, that's telling you all about life and telling you how to make a lot of money, how to save a lot of money, how to do this, how to do that, whatever, marriage advice, dating advice, and just advice on anything, So sometimes you have to take that advice with a grain of salt. And what I had to learn is if somebody told me something about something, right? So if my friend told me advice about, or his opinion or advice about 401k or something from a job or whatever, when I say research and do your due diligence is I won't take that information from him and just, run with it or just take it as fact or just start spreading it around to, I'm gonna go tell such and such and this person too what this person just told me. I'm gonna go tell everybody about this. I'm the type of person that I learned that I take that information that somebody gives me and I go research that information. I go try to back up and validate what that person told me. Because I don't want to be out here spreading misinformation that I got from somebody else to the next person, and I don't want to use misinformation for myself as well. So if somebody like I remember one time, not to get off topic, but I remember one time I was talking to my friend and he was at work talking to somebody else in the background. He had me on hold. So he was telling the girl that she shouldn't quit her job at UPS because it had benefits and stuff like that to pursue her nursing degree that she was almost finished with. And he tried to justify that she'll make more money as a UPS delivery driver than in the nursing field as an RN. And he was giving her these off-the-wall facts and stuff like that. Now, if she was to take that information as fact and went home and thought about it and quit school and gave up right at the end just to do, the UPS thing, she would have probably went years and years, in regrets, or years and years before she realized or looked up something like, wow, I remember back in the day, the guy told me that if I did this career field, I wasn't going to get a job, or I wasn't going to be able to do this, or I wasn't going to be able to make this amount of money versus what I was making at UPS. Why did I listen to him? So that's just an example that I heard, that just puzzled me, and that I'm just a firm believer of researching what you hear. Don't just take everything as fact and, go running wild with it. Do your own research. If they give you a piece of information, for example, about buying a house, you know nothing about buying a house, so you get this information from another person that doesn't even have a house, and they're telling you, oh, you need to do this, and it's going to be hard for you to get this because of that, and what you're going to do about finance and all that. That might discourage you to wait or to not look out and research anything. But I say take whatever information they give you, if it sounds halfway right, because you won't know if it's right or wrong because you never bought a house before, you never been in that situation before or whatever. So just take that information, go ask a couple other people, get a couple other people's advice. If they all say the same thing, then hey, you might want to run with it. Or just take it to Google, look it up, validate that information, and then make your decision. Don't just sit on what somebody tells you, because half the time they could have got that information that they told you from somebody else, and that person didn't know what they was talking about. So you always want to do your research. Now let's switch over to researching and due diligence about buying items. So me, I like to buy different things, cars, electronics and stuff like that. And you see the people that go into Best Buy or whatever looking for a TV, or going to the dealership looking for a car, and they just go there. They don't know nothing. They didn't research nothing. They just go up there, and whatever that person that they randomly get as their salesperson tells them, they take it as fact. And that person could be biased to one brand or one car or one TV, and they'll just tell you the highlights of that, and you basically bash everything else. And you'll think, oh, they know what they're talking about. They work here. No, I don't go off of that either, guys. I take that information. First of all, I come in with my own information. I do the research first, and then I put it against what they tell me, and then I make my decision. But if you just go in there, I would say go in there, see what they tell you, and then take that information back home, look it up, and then make your decision, because you'll make a more sound decision. Because you never know what their motives are. It could be just to sell you something, or they could be one of those people that don't like to say, well, I don't know, let me find out the information for you. They'll just tell you anything because they don't want to say I don't know, or whatever. Or it could be, you could be on a budget, like, hey, I just need the cheapest car y'all got, and that's it, I don't need all this. But they'll upsell you on something you don't need, and then they'll bash the cheaper car, say, oh, but that cheaper car, it'll have this, and you're gonna hate this about it, blah, blah, blah. You need to get this next level up. But if you do your own research, you'll be like, oh, that's not even a problem what that guy was talking about, or that's not even an issue. Like, I don't mind that. You can make a better sound decision. And so that's why I just say, somebody give you some information, just research it. Don't sit on it. Don't, just run right into what they said. Do a little bit of research on it. Think about it, because you don't know where they got their information from. So, and it's even the same thing when I call, like, my utility company, or, if something's not right with my bill or whatever, I never even take what the first person I talk to over the phone. If they say something that don't sound right or whatever, I'm gonna call back, talk to somebody else, and if they say the same thing, then, then I can believe it. But if the first person sound kind of shaky and they're saying like, yeah, I think this because of this and blah, 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 I'm gonna call back and get a second opinion just to make sure, do your due diligence, so save you some heartache. So guys, that's been this video for today. Just talking about researching things and doing your due diligence, so you won't go through the heartache in the long run and make poor decisions based off of what somebody else told you. So guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Tell me what type of videos, what type of topics y'all want to talk about, because I've been through a lot of my life. I made a lot of mistakes, and I just don't want nobody else to go through the same mistakes that I've been through. So I'm just trying to help people out for free. I'm not trying to say, course and preach to you, nothing like that. I'm just trying to genuinely help people out, and that's it, guys. So until the next video, is what I be thinking, and I'm out.